When the rains stopped and the kingdom's future hung in the balance, a young princess was forced to make an impossible choice: follow her heart or save her people. The fate of the kingdom rested on her shoulders, and the cost of her decision would be the love of her life, a love that stood taller than the trees and reached higher than the clouds. In the heart of the enchanted Savannah, where the golden sun dipped into the horizon and painted the sky with hues of crimson and orange, there lived a beautiful princess named Sophia. She was kind, gentle, and loved all living creatures, but among them, there was one special friend who held a place in her heart, a giraffe named Gerald. Gerald was no ordinary giraffe. He stood tall, with a coat of reddish-brown patches and a long neck that seemed to touch the clouds. Sophia would often sneak out of the castle to visit him, bringing fresh leaves and fruits to feed him. As she gazed into his big brown eyes, she felt a deep connection, as if their souls understood each other in a way no one else could. Their love was pure and innocent, but the kingdom didn't see it that way. The king and queen, though loving parents, believed that a princess's love should be reserved for a prince, not a giraffe. They urged Sophia to focus on her royal duties and find a suitable suitor among the princes from neighboring kingdoms. But Sophia's love for Gerald only grew stronger. She would often take him to the secret meadows, where they'd spend hours under the shade of acacia trees, watching the stars twinkle to life in the night sky. Gerald would whisper stories of the savannah, of the winds that carried the whispers of ancient trees, and Sophia would listen, entranced. One day, a severe drought hit the land. The rivers dried up, the crops withered, and the animals began to suffer. The kingdom's advisors predicted that if the rains didn't come soon, the kingdom would face a great famine. The king and queen, desperate for a solution, consulted the wise old sage who lived on the outskirts of the kingdom. The sage revealed that the only way to bring back the rains was to make a great sacrifice. Someone from the royal family had to give up something precious for the well-being of the kingdom. Sophia knew what she had to do. She couldn't bear the thought of her kingdom suffering, and she knew exactly what she had to sacrifice: her love for Gerald. With a heavy heart, Sophia went to the secret meadow, where she found Gerald waiting for her, his long neck bending down to nuzzle her gently. She hugged him tight, tears streaming down her face, and whispered her goodbye. Gerald, sensing her sorrow, nuzzled her closer, as if trying to absorb her pain. Sophia returned to the castle, her heart shattered into a million pieces. She dedicated herself to helping her parents manage the kingdom, using her love for Gerald as the motivation to make a difference. The skies darkened and the winds howled. But then, something miraculous happened. The clouds gathered, and a gentle rain began to fall, nourishing the parched earth. The rivers began to flow, and the crops started to grow again. The kingdom rejoiced, and Sophia's parents looked at her with pride and sadness, knowing the price she had paid. Months passed, and Sophia threw herself into her royal duties. Though her heart ached for Gerald, she knew she had made the right decision. One day, while out on a royal visit, she saw a giraffe in the distance, its long neck familiar, its eyes kind. As she drew closer, her heart skipped a beat. It was Gerald. He had been searching for her, guided by their deep connection. Sophia's first instinct was to run to him, to hold him close and never let him go. But she knew that their love had brought life back to the kingdom, and that was enough. Tears welled up in her eyes as she approached Gerald, and he nodded his long neck in understanding. He knew that Sophia's love had saved the kingdom, and he was proud of her. In that moment, Sophia realized that true love wasn't about being together all the time. It was about the sacrifices you made for the one you loved, and the greater good. Gerald gently nudged her hand one last time before turning and disappearing into the savannah. Sophia returned to the kingdom, her heart still heavy but filled with a newfound sense of purpose. She ruled the kingdom with kindness and wisdom, always remembering the lessons she had learned from her love for Gerald. Years went by, and Sophia became known as the Giraffe Princess, a legend of love and sacrifice. And though she never saw Gerald again, she knew that their love had changed the world around her, bringing life and hope to those who needed it most. The moral of the story is that true love is selfless, and sometimes requires sacrifices for the greater good. But it can also bring about positive change and growth.